Hi there, this is Sam from Core Yoga, and thanks for joining Core Fix today. For the next 30 minutes, we'll work through a series of yoga-based strength exercises that are very run specific, aimed at building strength and length in the spaces we need to improve our efficiency and performance as a runner. We're going to start today on all fours, so if you'd like to bring your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. From here, we're just going to do a little bit of mobilization for the spine, starting with some cat-cows. So as you inhale, drop your belly towards the floor, squeeze your shoulders, look up towards the sky. And as you exhale, push the floor away from you, tuck your chin, draw your navel to your spine. So a few more rounds like that. As we inhale, we drop the belly down, we activate the back of the shoulders. As we exhale, we push the floor away from us and we activate the lower belly space. We're mobilizing the spine, just bringing some movement into the body and creating some space before we start to stabilize and still the body, building strength on that stable foundation. So as you exhale, you're feeling that lower belly draw up towards the spine. And as you inhale, you're relaxing those muscles there. Last one, exhale, push the floor away from you, stay here. Feel this sense of pushing the mat away with both hands and separating of the shoulder blades. And then feel the lower belly, hug it a little further back towards the spine. Lift your pelvic floor a little bit and bring the tops of the feet to the floor and hover the knees off the mat. So now we just stay here for a few rounds of breath. Feeling that lower belly, feeling that pelvic floor, lifting them up. Imagine you now have a little soft ball between your knees and you're just giving it a little bit of a squeeze. Inner thighs start to activate. And then exhale, drop the knees. Inhale, arch the back. Exhale, back to a neutral place. Then inhale, keep the pelvis exactly where it is. You're going to reach your right arm towards the sky. It's probably only going to go to about 75 degrees. And then as you exhale, reach the hand underneath you. So the pelvis is staying in line with the mat. Inhale, right hand high. And then exhale underneath you. So those of you that do this thread the needle with me in my yoga practice, you might find that in yoga we're going a little bit deeper. What we're starting to do now is stabilize the pelvis and create some movement in the spine above the pelvis, just to loosen up that lower back and stretch out through that rotational plane. Bring the right hand back to the floor. As you exhale, tuck the chin, push the floor away from you. Squeeze your lower belly, lift your pelvic floor, and then inhale, tops of the feet on the floor, gives you a nice stretch to the front of those feet. Hover the knees, and this time roll over your right foot and push back in your right heel, getting some stretch into that right calf. Then bring the right knee back to where it was. Tuck over the left toes, extend the left leg. Good. Bring the left leg back. Drop the knees to the floor. Neutral pelvis. Inhale, left hand lifts as high as it can go without moving the pelvis. Then exhale, you're just threading it underneath you. So rather than taking the full range of movement here, we're starting to fire up through those rotational core muscles, and we're starting to mobilize in rotation. As we run, the spine rotates. The spine also laterally flexes. So what we're doing is we're just warming the body up and reminding it that this movement pattern is where we want to take it. Good. And this is your last one. But also firing up the muscles that support that movement pattern, which is hugely important. Push the floor away from you, tuck your chin, separate those shoulder blades. From here, this time tuck under the toes and push back into a plank. And then inhale, lift the hips, come into like a downward facing dog. So a downward facing dog, like an upside down V. Hands and feet press the floor away, butt lifts up towards the sky, relax the shoulders. And then inhale, raise your right leg to the sky without moving that pelvis. Then exhale, take the shoulders a little further forward. Take your right knee towards your chest and your nose towards your knee, really arching your spine. And then inhale, send it back to that three-legged dog. Two more like this. Exhale, knee to nose, push the floor away from you. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, we're only coming a little further forward, not all the way to plank. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring the right foot to the floor, look to your hands. Step the right foot forward and drop the left knee to the floor. Keep the toes tucked under and press your way up into a low lunge. So knees on the floor for now. Just make sure both your right knee and foot are at 90 degrees and your left knee and is at 90 degrees. Keep the toes tucked under, pull the belly in, open through the chest, and as you inhale, push the floor away from you, stand up. And as you exhale, bring the knee, just tap the floor. Inhale, push the floor away, stand up. Exhale, tap the floor. Inhale to lift, squeeze your left butt cheek. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, return. Let's do one more like that. Inhale, lift. Exhale, return. Bring the hands to the floor. Step back, downward facing dog. So in your downward facing dog, upside down V, don't worry if your knees are soft. It's nice to have them soft, particularly if we're tight in the back of the body. And then pressing both hands, left foot into the floor. Inhale, lift the right leg to the sky. Feel that right glute, left glute. It should be the left leg to the sky if I said right. And as you exhale, take the shoulders just a few centimeters forward. Not all the way to plank, left knee towards nose, nose towards knee. And then inhale back to three-legged dog. Exhale a little way towards plank, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Last one. Exhale, really push the floor away from you. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, left foot to the floor, look to your left thumb. As you exhale your next breath, left foot forward, right knee down. Keep your back toes tucked under. 2 90-degree angles at these knees. A levelness to the pelvis so both hip points are in line. Right glute's gonna work nice and open through the chest. As you inhale, push the floor away from you, come to stand. And as you exhale, back down to the floor. Nice. Inhale, lift up. And exhale to return. Inhale to lift. Hands on your hips are really nice to know that your pelvis is staying nice and stable. Good. And exhale to drop. This is your last one. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend the knees, bring the hands to the floor. This time, step your right foot forward to the top of the mat. Inhale, press your hands into your shins and halfway lift. Hold it here. And then from here, bring your hands behind you. Turn the palms to face the floor. So it's like you're flying. Bring your thumbs a little bit up towards the sky. And your little fingers down. That will help you access the muscles in the back of the body. And then squeeze those shoulder blades together. Nice. Take a breath in. And then exhale, fold forwards. Bring your hands to your hips, soften the knees, and inhale, come to stand. Exhale, hold it here. So now bring your feet so that they're hip distance apart. And then from here, sit down into a chair. Look at your toes, make sure you can see your toes, so that your knees are not so far forward that they're hiding the toes. Then like we did in all fours, squeeze the inner thighs, draw the navel in and lift your pelvic floor. Good. As you exhale, twist to the right, bring the palms together in the heart space. And as you inhale, come back to the center. As you exhale, twist to the left. And as you inhale, back to the center. Good. Little bit lower. Exhale and twist. Inhale, center. Good. Keep that activation in lower body. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, center. One more rep. We're going lower still. Exhale as we twist. Inhale, center. Exhale as we twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, push the floor away from you. Come all the way to stand. So now a little bit of work that we accessed last week that we'll access again a little bit this week before we go into a full plyometric hop and lunge sequence. So from here, the left foot's on the floor, and bring your hands to your hips so that you make sure that when you raise your right knee, those hips don't move. So keeping that pelvis nice and stable. That same sucking in, that same drawing of the inner thighs together. And then from there, bring your palms together in the heart space. So keep your hands on your hips, wherever feels right, wherever feels good. And then as you exhale, extend your right leg back and take the crown of the head forward. And as you inhale, draw the knee back to where you started. So you're exhaling into Superman or into Warrior 3. And then you're inhaling to return. Good. Keep the 3 points of contact at the feet, pressing down into the floor. The right glute is active and the belly's hugging in. As you come forward, this is your last one. You're feeling in the back of the shoulders, just like we felt in the back of the shoulders a moment ago when I said we were flying. Bring your right foot to the floor. So we'll do exactly the same on the other side. I'm not quite sure my whole head is in the frame, but there we go. So from here, right foot presses into the floor. I hold my hips to make sure my pelvis stays level. And then I bring my palms together, or I bring the hands to the hips, wherever feels nice. Good. As I exhale, I extend back into Warrior 3. And as I inhale, I come back to where I started. Good. Keep those inner thighs working. Good. Inhale, come back through. So remember, speed is not what we're looking for. Inhale to extend belly in, shoulders working. Exhale, and inhale, come all the way back. Exhale, extend. Push the left foot behind you. And inhale to return. You got one more. Push the floor away from you with your right foot. Push back in your left foot, crown of the head forward. All the way back to where you started. From here, both feet to the floor. Inhale, hinge the hips, bend the knees. Exhale, walk your hands out and find a plank. From here, a little work into the side body. So drop your knees to the floor and step your left foot forward, but not all the way to your hand. So your left foot is a whole hand's distance behind your left hand. Then turn your left foot at 90 degrees. This gives us a nice open to the stretch, but it's really nice work for the side body. Then push back in that back heel. So now we're like half plank, half twisty lunge. Bring your right hand a little further forward of your shoulder and a little more central on the mat. Roll onto the outer edge of your left foot. Bring your left hand to the sky. So we start like this. And then as we inhale, we drop the hips towards the floor. So we're going to exhale, hold it here. We're getting a bit of a stretch into this side body now. We're going to work it. Inhale, push the floor away from you. Reach your left hand past your left ear. And then exhale back to the floor. 4 more like this. Inhale, lift. And exhale to return. 3, inhale, push the floor away from you. Exhale back to where you started. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. This time we're going to inhale here, we're going to hold it here. So feel the left hip with your left hand and push the hips into that hand. Squeeze the inner thighs together and feel that sense of activation in the right side of your body. And then exhale all the way back to downward facing dog. Bend the knees, walk the hands back to the feet. Soften the knees, press into the feet, come all the way up to stand. Same thing, other side. I'll come to the other side of the mat. So we're inhaling to hinge the hips. We're exhaling to walk out to find a plank. Then we're dropping the knees to the floor. The right foot steps about a hand's distance behind the right hand and then turns out at 90 degrees. So already, if this feels too tight in your hip, and I didn't say so on the other side, but now I've remembered, notice that you can bring your foot further down the mat and that will be less intense on that outer hip. So wherever feels comfortable, but no further forward than a hand's distance. Both hands are just like plank for now. So come to your back, turn, push back in your back heel. So left side looks like it's doing plank. Then take your left hand a little further forward and a little more central. Roll onto the outer edge of your left foot. And as you inhale, drop your hips towards the floor. Only as low as your body will allow you, exhale down here. Then 5, we lift. Inhale, push the floor away from you. Reach the right hand all the way past your ear. And exhale, come all the way back down. So you're inhaling, lifting up and reaching. And you're exhaling to return. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, back down. 2 more. Inhale to lift. Exhale to return. Last one. Inhale. Stay here, exhale. Bring your right hand to your right hip. Push your right hip into your hand. Squeeze your inner thighs. Feel that. Good. Take a breath. Feel that strength on the left side of the body. And then exhale, hands to the floor. Step back to dog. Lift your hips, walk your hands back to your feet. Press into the feet, come to stand. So now last little set of balance work before we get into our lunge and hop sequence. So again, we did this last week. It's nice to build on it. It's nice to continue it. Repetition is really good for building effective muscle memory. So left foot's on the floor. And right knee just lifts. Once again, we've been here before. So we're going to come to our warrior 3 pose, our Superman. I like to do it with my hands in the heart space, but you put your hands wherever you are, wherever you want. And as you inhale, bend the left knee. And as you exhale, straighten the left leg. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Good. 3 more like that. Inhale, bend. Don't forget about your right side. Exhale, straighten. Right glute still active. Inhale, bend. You'll feel this in the left outer hip. Exhale, straighten. 1 more. Inhale to bend. Exhale, straighten. Bring your feet together. Shake out your left leg. We'll do the same on the other side. Right foot presses into the floor. Left knee lifts. Open through the chest, feeling the shoulders still working for us. Extend into warrior 3. Good, so stabilize in your warrior 3 first. Don't forget those inner thighs. And then inhale, bend the right knee. And exhale, push the floor away from you. So we're doing 5 reps. Inhale, bend the right knee. Exhale, push the floor away. Inhale to bend. We're not rushing. Exhale to push. That's really good for push-off, guys. Inhale to bend. Exhale, feel that big toe joint, press it down. 1 more, left glute still working. As you exhale, push the floor away from you. Come back to standing. Shake out your right leg. Lovely. So from here, take a moment and come to the end of what is like a mat length space. So we're going to do some forward lunges, some reverse lunges, and we're going to do some hopping. So we're going to start with a hop, and we're going to start with right leg. And it's like you're hopping on hot coal. So rather than hopping super high and spending a long time on the mat, you're trying to lift your feet off as rapidly as possible. So imagine you've got a sticker underneath your foot and you're just going to hop on the spot. Good. So nice, quick hops, nice and stable with the body. Good. In 3, 2, 1, we change sides. Good. Notice if one side feels easier than the other. Lovely work. In 3, 2, 1, come to stop. Feet are hip distance apart. Right leg steps forward, forward lunge, back to the center. Left foot steps forward, forward lunge, back to the center. Add running style arms, back to the center. So running style arms is one elbow drives back, the other elbow drives forward. Running style arms is opposite arm comes forward as you step forward. Good. One more forwards. One more. Oh, look. Now do another one on the left. So we're even. And release. So now you're looking down at the floor. And either you have a line, I've got a line on my yoga mat, or you have a bit of floorboard, or a bit of tile, or you're imagining a straight line. And you're going to hop your midfoot in front and behind the line. Again, like you're on hot coals, so the response is super quick. So right foot to the floor, don't look down, but imagine that line, forwards and backwards. Good. As quickly and as stably as your, is that a word? As your body allows. Good. In 3, 2, 1, swap sides. Good. So stabilize for a moment. You see I wobbled a little bit there, just as I was getting my grounding. Nice and quick. 2, 1, and stop. This time come to the end of the space. As we go down into our lunge, we're going to touch the floor. And as we come up into the lunge, we're going to reach the sky. So right leg goes back, bend the knee, tap the floor, fingers to the floor, all the way up. Same thing, other side. Nice, now we can move a little quicker. Just like you did in that Superman drill, in that Warrior 3 drill, where you are pushing the floor away from you. Same movement now. It's a little bit lighter on the body, in fact. Good. You got one more on the left, and then release. So from here we come back to hops, and this time we're going to hop the first time, side to side, and we're going to be at one end of our space, looking forwards. So right foot to the floor, hands on your hips, and you're moving your legs a little bit, your foot a little bit to the right, and then back to the left. Again, same focus, hot coals, quick movement. Good. Good. Keep it as light as you can. In 3, 2, 1, swap sides, side to side. Just take a moment of transition. Keep it as light as possible. Listen to the feet. Good. 3, 2, 1, and release. My legs are a little tired after a heavy week of training, but we're still here. So from here we go lateral lunge, and we're going lateral lunge to crossover lunge. So you need space behind you to the left, space to your right. Right leg steps out to the side, you touch the floor. Right foot comes all the way behind the left to cross, shoulders and hips are facing forward. So no stopping in the middle, balancing and controlling your way from one side to the other side. Moving the body in a slightly different way to lengthen out the tight spaces and activate the stuff that's going to help us with run form and efficiency. Good. 2 more like this, touching the floor, controlling to the other side, and then 1. Good. And then release, come all the way up. So similar, but a little bit different. We're going to work the right foot, and it's going to turn internally, and it's going to turn externally. And you'll notice your hips will want to go with you, because that's easier. And I might be tight, either on my internal or on my external femur rotation. So if I'm tight, my hips will want to go with me. Imagine your pelvis is just there, and inside the hip joint, your head of your femur bone is just turning one way and another. So keep the hands on the hips, right foot to the floor, and then turning your thigh, which will turn your foot in and out. Good. 3, 2, 1, swap side. So just take a moment this time. Good, settle up. Again, one side might find it way easier than the other side. It takes a little concentration and coordination and stop. And as I just noticed there, interestingly, when I talk, my left side is a lot more challenging. So you're going to come to have enough space behind you to the right and to your left. So that same lunge sequence. The left leg out to the side, touch the floor. Right leg, left leg comes behind right. So left leg out to the side, touch the floor. Right leg stays in front. Left leg is the one that's moving. Right leg is the one that's stabilizing and strengthening. Lovely. So hop work, actually really beneficial for run specific strength and movement of the feet, so they can be effective when we run, so we can be effective all the way up the rest of the chain. If our feet don't move, that was your last one, then that movement has to happen somewhere up the chain. So when you do the hopping work, do it in bare feet. If you haven't today, don't worry. Next time, just do it in bare feet. Feel the movement of the foot. There are 26 joints in that foot and ankle, and if they don't move, then that movement has to happen somewhere else in the chain. The rest of the chain is less malleable than the foot and the ankle. So hopping can create some really nice movement to the foot and the ankle to allow the rest of the chain to move as it needs to move. Thanks you ever so much for listening today. I hope you enjoyed that short either warm-up, pre-run, or a standalone run-specific strength session. See you next week. Thanks ever so much. Bye-bye.